What up? What up? King Dynasty Nation. What's up? What's up? Hey, I had to address this situation with this brick lady, but I'm dealing with it from a different perspective. And that perspective is, why did so many black women and kind of beta black men fall for this? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about why they fell for it. Not so much as she ran a scheme or a scam like anybody. People run scams all the time. But why are we the most vulnerable people to fall for this kind of shit? And even though she had said some negative things about black women, all of a sudden the black women jumped on board with this nonsense. So we're going to deal with it and talk about it. My little nephew put this track together. It's dope. Check it out. We're gonna get into it. You know I'm an OG, so I'm from Chicago, and we're gonna talk about that too on a different date. But we need to find out why we were so gullible. Black women were so gullible, and the betas were so gullible to fall for a scam. It's kind of like the Cash App scams they doing on different platforms, Facebook, and all these things. And a lot of people falling for this scam. You know what I mean? So we're going to chop this up real good. All right? So let's do it. Let's get into it. So now, I didn't understand. I couldn't understand for the life of me. I'm still working on my platform, getting it all together. Why this was so easy. Like, you know, why didn't common sense just kind of kick in? Like, I know for me, when I first saw it, common sense kicked in. I went to TikTok and I saw all of the content creating people, especially black women, fighting for her, saying black men ain't shit and all of this, and we won't protect them, and this, that, and the other. And I was saying, I've been in some battles, you know what I mean? And I kept saying, like, if somebody hit you with a brick, you know, then, now she didn't say rock, like the damage on her face would have been more like a rock. But just talking to friends of mine who are in the medical field, they're not even confirming that. The saline, with her walking around with the mask on, her face was like that already. So, but if somebody hit you with a brick, the truth of the matter is, you probably gonna end up getting your jaw broken and wired. So it didn't make sense to me. When I first saw the video, I said she was talking to the young men that were outside, and you could tell, like, just off their expressions, they didn't even know what the hell she was talking about. She just went and confronted them with the camera on and put them on Front Street, and they didn't even know what the hell she was talking about. They said they had went across the street and came back. Then, when she was recording and they was doing all of this, I kept saying, okay, this is a club, which means they have cameras. So why didn't she think of that before she ran her scam? That this place got cameras. Eventually, they're going to be able to check up on my story. But in the process of all of that, black women jumped all over this. This was their chance to show that black man wasn't shit. And so they jumped all over it. You know? And it goes to show they had bad intentions towards black men. I mean, they jumped all over this. News channels jumped all over it. And um, they keep asking this question, right? They always ask this question about, and I'm gonna let you hear uh, some of the videos. And one thing I can say about this one brother, he actually came out and said he made a mistake. I give him that credit. I give him that credit. You know what I mean? Check it out.
Story that had a lot of people talking. The saga, the now infamous Brick Lady. Her claims of being assaulted have turned into quite the scandal. Her real name is Rhoda Osman. You're looking at her there. You may remember that plea on social media. You may remember when we covered her story last September. Bridget, you and I were duped too. Yep. We fell for it like a damn fool. She claimed.
See, I like that because he admitted it. He admitted it, right? And so when you are a feminist, Black women, don't expect to be protected. Black men lose their lives all the time trying to protect a Black woman who's at fault because she's running her damn mouth. I see it all the time in Chicago. She's loud. She's snapping off. The other day, we were out and about, and a young Black lady was going off on this brother, young brother. They both was probably like 25, 26. He was trying to keep it calm because he didn't want to be out loud like that. She would not let it go. So the young brother walks away, gets in his car, and he leaves her there. She's throwing things at his car. I'm in Chicago, South Side. Love my city. But she's throwing things at this young brother. This brother left her. Meantime, she goes to somebody else and asks them for a ride to where she was going. So the couple, the Black woman, you could tell she was being more vulnerable to giving her a ride to where she was going. And the Black man said no. Guess what happened? She starts snapping again. Nobody's going to help you when you're loud and obnoxious. That's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So then we had another young lady. I want you to listen to this because all of this triggers from this Brick Lady's scam that she ran on Black women, even though she talked negatively and said they wear their makeup like trans. She talked negatively about Black women, but it was very convenient for her to lock in on Black women. Why? Because Black women are constantly talking negative about Black men. So you was a target and you fell for it. Now check this out.
Story that had a lot of people talking. The saga, the now.
Let me clarify this. Are y'all telling us that if you are not related to us, if you are not dating us, if you're not having some sort of physical relationship to us, if you don't find us attractive, if you don't find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough, that our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us?
You want to know what I find so crazy about that argument? It's the fact that, first off, I'm about 85% sure that this woman is a hyper-feminist. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me. However, it's also the fact that, by her logic, she would have to admit that she does believe that men and women are different socially. And she would not only have to admit that, but she would also have to admit that she's okay with that. Because I'm 99.9999998% sure that she does not hold women to this same standard. I honestly believe that it's people like this talking about this situation that if they were near that situation would have been the same ones asking not just anybody, but asking the men why they didn't do anything. It's quite ironic, isn't it? I find it very funny that they uphold the same patriarchy that they swear to destroy, because it's oppression and misogyny until it benefits them.
Let me clarify this.
I like that from the young king because he broke it down. But black women have to stop doing what's convenient. What's convenient. And that is when you want protection, but when you want to bash black men, then you don't want protection. So now black men are like, okay, I'm gonna leave this whole situation alone. And we're gonna talk about the voting situation too, because the voting situation is so messed up. And we're gonna deal with this because we left it to black women to figure this whole thing out. And they pretty much led our race down the wrong path and picking uh riding with a party that don't have shit to do with black people. Been screwing black people for decades. So now black men are saying, no, you know what? We can't trust the black women no more to make these decisions for our communities. We're gonna make them ourselves. Because black men just want to work and hustle and get that bag. That's what we want to do. We don't want to really concern ourselves with that. We feel like, you are a woman or our sisters. You should come down and tell us, hey, what's going on? But now we have to go back and research because we've been screwed by your decisions. Right? Like this. This is insane. You ride with a woman who puts you down. She talked negatively about black women. I mean, I don't get it. This woman right here. She had no love for black women. But black women would jump on any cause to be against black men. Any cause. It doesn't matter what the cause is. It doesn't matter whether it's true or false. Y'all would jump on bullshit just to be against a black man. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. You all couldn't see most men who have been in battles. We knew that wasn't true. We knew it wasn't true off the top. It didn't make sense. None of it even made sense off the top. Listen, crying tears is just a normal thing for women when they're trying to win or get their way. It's a form of manipulation. That's what it is. This one sister started investigating her because she knew it didn't make sense. The stuff that Joe Biden and them are talking about, black women jumped all over it because he hired 75 black women, but he screwed millions and the black community. Doesn't make sense. And we're going to talk about that live on Thursday. How the Democratic Party, the DNC, has been screwing black people for years in the black community. And black women always fall for this. You can no longer lead in this community in regards to politics, and black men just hustle and go to work and leave it up to you because you've been leading the black community to a goddamn fire. And now we're getting burned. Because look at this. Look at this. She got what, 42K? Went on vacations, showed her ass, and partied because of a bunch of lies. Also, TikTok, listening to black women pull in thousands of people, 50,000, having this topic about how black men don't, black women, we're talking about how black men don't protect them, how they have to do everything on their own. They have to do this. What you need to do is stop being so loud and obnoxious and making bad decisions. You need to wear your natural hair. I just saw a young lady did a real good job talking about she went to a bunch of young women and asked them, do men like BBLs or natural women? Every single one of them said BBLs. She went to another 15 men and every single one of them said natural. This is how we so disconnected. Now, if all of the men are saying natural, then who are these women listening to? Obviously, they're not listening to the men. Where they getting this clown shit from? Who's in their echo chamber? Who's giving them these ideas that men like this when 15 out of 15 men that she interviewed said they like natural women? So where is it coming from? It's got to be coming from other women. So here's your other woman right here who pulled the wool over your eyes easily and took your money. And a couple of other black women said, nah, this is bullshit. So what they did was start investigating. The one queen sister, she really went in and got the information. Now everybody looks stupid. I was watching my man, and I like the little young king. You know what I mean? I forgot his name, Conscious Lee or whatever. I went in and told him, man, just man up and apologize that you made a mistake. I like his content, but you made a mistake. That's just the bottom line. And he did. Eventually, he came out and said, hey, he made a mistake. But at first, he was trying to fight for this hyena, her truths. But her truths were lies. And that's why I say, be honest, but tell the truth. Because in your mind, your honesty can be a lie. Your truth can be a lie. That's just the bottom line. So he tried to fight. A couple other sisters got on there and tried to fight until they interviewed the brother who she bombed on, and he ended up throwing a water bottle, which wouldn't have did any damage unless it had semen in it, to her face like that. So this was a setup from the very beginning. But I'm going to add, this sister is mentally ill. For her to plot and scheme on that level, to wear a mask at that party, throughout the party, get into the cars with the mask on, all of these different things, and then finally get out the car and take the mask off and her face is swollen like that. That's a scheming person. That's a dangerous person. And I'm telling you, she's mentally ill. But stop being so vulnerable. Stop being so vulnerable, black women. You're vulnerable to everything. You've been targeted on purpose. You believe everything. Stop being so easily targeted, because it makes us targets. There's a lot of black men in jail right now because of black women. Do some deserve it? Probably. Some don't? Probably not. Black women call the police on black men more than anybody else. That's just a fact. So you can no longer lead in any category of our community. And we're going to talk about that on Thursday, how Black men are saying, hey, we did our research on the politicians. We did our research on which party actually was helping us. We're not just voting because our fathers and grandfathers voted Democrat. We're not doing that. We're not just voting because they voted Republican. We're not doing that. We left the research to the Black woman. And she failed. Period. She failed by not giving the community the correct information. She failed. And so now we're going to take back over the leadership in certain areas. And we're going to push our people in the right direction where it's going to benefit our communities, our people. That's just the bottom line. In the meantime, stay away from these mentally ill females who are trying to cause damage to Black men. Stop being so gullible that you believe anything that somebody says about a Black man. It's pathetic. You're being laughed at. Do we have some issues in the community? Absolutely. With Black men, young Black men? Absolutely. But the resources in our community has been drained, completely dry by the people that Black women have voted for the last decade. Promises, promises, promises. And nothing showed up. Absolutely nothing showed up. So we're going to take back the reins in all areas, and we're going to move forward and get us back on track. The Black women who are with us, and there's some that are, they're going to ride with us. The ones that's not, we're kicking y'all ass to the curb. That's the bottom line. We're not going to allow vulnerable enemies in our camp no more. You have to earn your trust. You have to earn your trust. This right here showed that you'll fall for anything without even checking the facts. Y'all rallied around Kamala Harris, and she had a over 90% eviction rate of convicting Black men. And y'all rallied around her like she was some kind of savior or saint. We're going to talk about that. That's bullshit. She's an enemy. And again, you are allowed to sell out our culture for your own ego. Well, that day is over. We ain't trying to hear this shit no more. That's the bottom line. We gonna deal with our young kings, but our young kings are out here on the throne. I'm telling you right now, they putting in work. I got to give it to them. They putting in work. These young brothers putting in work, and I'm proud of them too. There's some young sisters out here putting in work. You know what I mean? And we have to give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? Look at this shit. It's ridiculous. She got all that money, and that's not even. Let me tell you something. That's not even the money that she actually received as a total. She had other platforms collecting money. She had other platforms collecting money. You know? So, yeah, we need to do better. We need to be honest, and we need to tell the truth. Can we do that? Cheers. Peace. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We're gonna have some nice guests come up here too. I meant to tell you that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm an OG. I've been around. And we just trying to get some information out here that actually makes sense. Get everybody on the same page. King's honesty, y'all. Peace.